Al Henshaw here again, your friendly local constitutional troop from California, and I am here and ready and prepared to tell you, how to get rid of any problems you have with quote unquote landlord, tenant, and evictions. And how many of us these days know how many problems there are in that area? But you're going to learn in a hurry. What I do is the truth. And, these landlords, quote unquote, especially corporate landlords, can't have any of these issues come out because it's going to put them out of business and maybe make them homeless on the fucking street. And we'll see how they like it. But the truth of the matter is, if you raise the right arguments, and you can't do it right now because they didn't teach you a damn thing in today's public education system, didn't teach me 65 years ago either. And attorneys are our total enemies. They will not even understand most of the issues I present, even though they're readily apparent to the current justices of the U.S. Supreme Court. They won't do it. Irreconcilable conflicts of interest. You're going to learn these damn attorneys, or at least unregistered foreign agents of at least the city of London, if not Vatican City. But you get in there with real issues and what Justice Thomas calls for the court an appropriate case. That's going to make them go away in one hell of a hurry because we can't lose. Because with those corporate landlords, you're going to learn that corporations don't have any standing at all, even if they exist in our judicial courts. You have a right to trial by jury in a common law judicial court from day one, and you've never made a voluntary, knowing, and intelligent waiver of that right, and therefore it's immediately enforceable. And best of all, your corporate landlord will not have any standing in our judicial court. We're going to give them proper service of process, which is a hell of a lot more than they did with you if you got any service of process. Take close notice here. What that means is they send you a document with your name in all capital letters and an FL for Florida, for example, and a zip code. That doesn't do it. What they're really doing is serving you in my former hometown of Washington, D.C. But you're domiciled in a state judicial district. They can't even make service process, and the current justices know how big of a problem that is. That's what they call their Penoria rule. Cases Penoria v. F 95 U.S. 714. And you start making issues like this rather than the BS due process of law or equal protection. Now you're going to have an appropriate case for the justices to decide, and they're going to put these landlords out of business from coast to coast, and good riddance. That's how much power we're supposed to have, and that they don't want you to know that you have it. But we have it, we can prove it. It's really exciting. To learn more, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and you'll just be stunned at what you've learned there. I mean, we're in a principal and agent relationship here. And think about this, a corporate landlord is the agent of our agents. Yet somehow they seem to have enforceable rights in what they do, but we don't. And indeed, the federal tax code, I think it's 28 USC 67. I'm not sure, but it says right in there, a taxpayer, quote unquote, has a zero interest in his time and labor. Now that's terrible because they think, that you are one of those. In other words, a taxpayer. But you learn by getting my material, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, that the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 was preceded by the far more revealing corporation excise tax of 1909. They think you're just solely citizenship by soil, foreign state subordinate, dead corporate entity which has no rights to de facto national socialist government is bound to respect. We're here to give it to them up the ass. Otherwise, from those racist framers of the Constitution to today's current justices of the Supreme Court and a lot of other authorities, you're going to find out that you didn't learn anything about when you were in school either. But they're there, and the current justices know it, and they're waiting for us to get there with our cases. That's how exciting this is. And they're going to be there now with Trump back in office for the next 10 or 12 years and maybe more. And they're going to have our backs on a lot, if not all, of the unopposed issues that we address. That's a lot of bargaining leverage for you to get, a good chunk of change from these bastards, because they're going to pay us off to keep from going to jail for treason, which could easily happen. But we're really there to make changes for you, your family, and your posterity. That's the important part. It's priceless. So that your kids and your grandchildren and whatever don't have to go through this anymore. That's the exciting part. So it's nicely going to be a good chunk of change, and we'll split that up when the time comes. But for the moment, we're in there to make the best possible use of all the power that we have and all of what those racist framers managed to do in 1787 to 1791. No, it wasn't a perfect government. Only the best one invented, and we want it back. There's nothing hard about that. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Tell your friends, get the word out. The sooner we take action, the quicker we put these bastard corporate landlords out of business. Thank you.